I mean, think about it. We just celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, a man who is associated with color blindness. Judge me by the content of my character, not the color of my skin. That is what the civil rights movement used to be about. Today, the civil rights movement is about Black Lives Matter. Not all lives, Black lives. Say it, or I'm coming after you. We've turned the King sensibility on its head. I mean, that's where we are as a country, and that's where the left is as a country. And I don't think that Joe Biden feels he can oppose that and succeed politically in the Democratic Party. So I think he's doing what he feels he needs to do. He needed a black woman as a running mate, so he found a black woman to run. And I think he's checking off the boxes in terms of race and gender and sexual orientation, right down the list, because that is what today's left demands.
I'm Dave Rubin, and joining me today is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, a Wall Street Journal columnist, and author of the upcoming book Maverick, a biography of Thomas Sowell. Jason Reilly, welcome to the Rubin Report.
Thanks for having me.
I am glad to have you here. I thought this would be the right week to have you on, not only because the doc is coming out, but obviously Monday was MLK Day. There's a lot going on in the world, and I've been following what you do and what the Manhattan Institute does for quite some time, so I'm looking forward to the chat. For the people that don't have any idea who you are, who is Jason Reilly, and why is he on the Rubin Report?
Well, I'm a journalist. I've been affiliated with the Wall Street Journal for about a quarter century now, and I write a political column for them, a weekly column mostly about urban issues, crime, immigration, race, economics, and so forth. And I'm also, like you, a big fan of Thomas Sowell. And I've written a few books over the years, and my most recent one is a biography of Thomas Sowell, which is being published right around the same time that a documentary film on his life that I narrate is also being released.
Yeah, so the book is coming out actually on May 25th, and we'll put the pre-order link below. The doc is actually coming out this weekend on some public TV stations and then streaming services and all that good stuff. And obviously, I know that you know how much Thomas Sowell has affected me, and I'm honored to be in the doc, and you use some of the footage from our interview that we did up at Stanford. But you just hit on a bunch of the hot topic stuff of the day, and as we're taping this today, it is Joe Biden's inauguration. But you talk about crime, immigration, urban issues, things like that. Now, as a Wall Street Journal guy, my audience can probably put together that you lean somewhat right. Are you hopeful? Are you worried? What do you feel about the incoming administration right now on the issues that you care about?
Well, I care about how divided we are as a country right now, and I'm hoping that Joe Biden can lower the volume a little bit. I think that's gotten way out of hand, as we saw as what happened at the Capitol earlier this month. So I'm hoping that that's a priority of his, and maybe he'll be able to do that. I'm encouraged by some of the things he's done so far. Some of his cabinet picks, I think, have been quite moderate in comparison to what we could have had. We don't have a Secretary Warren at Treasury or a Secretary Bernie Sanders running the Labor Department. So I am hopeful there with some of his choices that he's made. On the other hand, I'm quite disturbed at the direction of the Democratic Party in recent years, with the rise of the progressives, this sort of woke left disturbs me. The Black Lives Matter movement types disturb me. And the fact of the matter is that Joe Biden is the head of a party that's moved quite a bit to the left since the last time he was in the White House. And while he's a guy who I think is spent a career trying to find the center of the Democratic Party and stay right there, the fact is the party itself has moved left. And so I think we're I fear we're going to get a lot more of the identity politics that we had under President Obama, and that worries me because he left office with race relations in pretty bad shape. I think they continue to sour under President Trump, but they were already pretty bad when Trump got into office as a result of what happened under Obama. And I'm fearful that that Biden and his adherence to identity politics and so forth will keep us going in that direction, unfortunately.
Yeah, are you kind of surprised how much Biden has embraced identity politics? Because as you're pointing out, he's not actually, we think, or at least his history is not one of the sort of really far left, the Bernie Elizabeth Warrens. It is more of a centrist, but it's pretty clear that, he's saying, okay, well, we got Pete Buttigieg, so we have a gay transportation secretary, and we got a trans, I think, assistant health secretary or deputy health secretary. Nobody cares if you have gay people or trans people and black people and all of these things. That's wonderful, but of course you want qualification. Are you surprised he's doing it, or do you think he's just doing a certain amount of placating them to then get back to the center? That would be music to my ears, but I fear that energy that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he feels he has to do it, that this is where the party is. And if anything, it's gotten worse in recent years. Think about it. We just celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, a man who is associated with color blindness. Judge me by the content of my character, not the color of my skin. That is what the civil rights movement used to be about. Today, the civil rights movement is about Black Lives Matter. Not all lives, Black lives. Say it, or I'm coming after you. We've turned the King sensibility on its head. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where we are as a country, and that's where the left is as a country. And I don't think that Joe Biden feels he can oppose that and succeed politically in the Democratic Party. So I think he's doing what he feels he needs to do. He needed a black woman as a running mate, so he found a black woman to run. And I think he's checking off the boxes in terms of race and gender and sexual orientation right down the list, because that is what today's left demands.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I've asked this of a few other people that I've had on the show, but are you shocked at the way these seemingly bad ideas have taken a hold of so many of our institutions and our political elite and our media institutions and everything else?
I am. I'm quite concerned, and there's so little pushback. Even on the left, they're canceling each other. If you don't toe the line on certain issues, everyone from a Steven Pinker to an Andrew Sullivan you are not allowed to step out of line over there, or the mob will come after you. And I find it extremely disturbing. I don't think that it's helpful in terms of addressing real issues in society. It keeps us at each other's throat. But this is how the Democratic Party wins votes. This is how they gin up their base, and what we're going through right now with the critical race theory. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when this stuff started back in the 70s and 80s in particular, but it was sort of limited to academia. Mm-hmm. And now it's spilled over into the mainstream, and we're talking about unconscious bias and these ridiculous diversity training programs and demanding the self-abasement of whites and to acknowledge their privilege and all the rest. I think this is horrible for the country, just absolutely horrible. And I think all of it will be ascendant in a Joe Biden presidency, unfortunately.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.